Hi, and welcome to Bookkeepers Bootcamp. I'm Zoe Whitman. I'm here with Joe Wood and Nicola Fallon. And today we're going to be talking about starting your own bookkeeping practice, which is something that Nicola has just done. And I know there are lots of people here who are thinking, I really want to leave my job or run my own business, but I actually don't really know how to start that. Well, Nicola's actually just very recently done it. So I'm really excited about learning about her story and hearing about the steps she's taken and how it's going for her so far. So Nicola, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
It's our pleasure. It's lovely to talk to you. And Nicola and I speak regularly. So Nicola's a member of our study club as well as our 6-month success program. So we're just having a chat, just a normal chat. So it's all going to be nothing to worry about. Nicola, do you want to start by telling us about your background before you started your bookkeeping practice?
Yeah, okay. So, well, being one of the older members of the six-figure bookkeepers group, I do have a long background. So, buckle in, everyone, for this long story. I will try and keep it short, but I think it's important to share my background so people know why I am where I am today. So, I left school at 16 with 9 GCSEs. My teachers all thought I should go to college and university, but at the time, my family couldn't really afford to support me through that. So I went out into the big wide world of employment. I was good at maths, so I got myself a job at NatWest Bank. I was there for 11 years. During that time, I got married really young. I think I was 23 when I got married, only just turned 23. Had my 2 boys, Alex and Ben. I left NatWest after 11 years. Just had my youngest son, Ben. I decided I wanted to study to be a primary school teacher. So, which meant eventually going to university after all that time to get a degree. So I started an access to higher education course at local college a month after Ben was born. It should have been a 2-year course, but my tutor encouraged me at the end of the first year to apply to the university, which I did, and I got a place on an English literature degree course. So a complete change of gone from maths to English. And I did that for 3 years. Around the same time I started the English literature degree course, Alex was 4, Ben was 1. I split up with my husband, their dad. So that was me, 28 years old, single mother of 2, 2 children under 5, no job, and about to start an English literature degree. So yeah, it was hard time, but luckily I had a lot of support from my mum and dad. I was able to juggle childcare, studying, a part-time job for 3 years while I did the degree. Um, but at the end of the 3 years, what I couldn't do was carry on to do the postgraduate degree that I needed to do the teaching. It was just the logistics of it, the financial burden. So I had to have a rethink again, and I decided to go back to full-time employment. So I got a job at a company called BOC, British Oxygen Company. I was doing the payroll in their head office. It was walking distance from home and the school, really convenient. Um, they also paid for me to do a diploma in payroll management with the Chartered Institute of Payroll Professionals, the CIPP. I did that on a fast track. So again, I passed that quite quickly. I did it within 12 months, but that was it. Then I was hooked on payroll. I loved it, and I was really good at it. So I carried on in my payroll career. I went on to work at various companies around Manchester. ITV was one of them. That was interesting times. And then eventually I got a fantastic job as a payroll manager for our global risk and insurance company, Jardine, Lloyd, Thompson, or JLT for short. It was really hard work at first. There was about 5,000 employees on the payroll. Their head office was in London. My bosses were all in London, so I was travelling to London quite frequently. Um, I even travelled to India to do some payroll training to a shared service centre over there. But I was very well paid, and I think that's what kept me there, really kept me going. So throughout my 20s and 30s, I think I always felt stressed. Being a single mum to two boys, trying to build a career I could be proud of, studying and earning the money I needed to pay the bills. I think I just lived on adrenaline. And when I didn't have the boys, I partied hard with my friends. I love music. I went to gigs and festivals as much as I could. So it probably wasn't really the healthiest of lifestyles. And I don't remember sleeping very much for about 15 years. Anyway, so I reached my 40s. The boys were older teenagers then. I thought, well, it's time to prioritise me now. So I met my husband, Mark, when I was 41. It was an absolute whirlwind romance, but he's amazing and supportive. I couldn't have met a better man after being on my own for so long. I still worked at JLT, had a great team there, really enjoyed the job, had great friends around me, and fantastic family support as always. So life was really good. And then I experienced a couple of tragedies. My friend got terminal cancer. She died when she was 36. Then her husband died 6 months later. And I got really poorly. So at the time, the doctors put it down to grief, stress, etc. But I knew it wasn't that. It wasn't just in my head. It was a physical thing. I just felt physically exhausted. Just couldn't do the things I used to be able to do. Didn't have any enthusiasm for anything. So it took them 2 years to diagnose that I had hypothyroidism, which is underactive thyroid, and then another 2 years to get my medication right. But now, 2 years, I've stabilised now. I still don't feel as well as I did before. I'm 5 stone heavier for a start. But I think this is the best I'm going to get now. And I try and live each day with as much joy as I can, because you just don't know what's around the corner. So that's it. That's my life so far in a not so small nutshell.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, Nicola, I could just listen to you forever. You tell such an amazing story, and your journey has been so full of ups and downs and twists and turns. And wow. Wow. Okay, so now I want to know the next bit. I want to know, so you're working in your job, you're dealing with health issues, you're newly married, and you're what, so was you working and then you decided you wanted to change how things are? Is this how is Virtual Accounts and Taxes Limited born, or an idea? And because I know you've done loads of more study, I mean, the amount of studying you have done in your life, I mean, hats off to you. Wow.
I like
Wow. Okay.
consuming knowledge. I like knowledge.
Yeah. So what happened next? What happened
Well,
next?
I think I could have carried on at JLT forever, but what happened in April 2019, a US firm called Marsh & McLennan bought JLT. So 6 months later, I was given my notice of redundancy. So I had a 12-month notice period. So that shows you how important the job I was doing was. It took 6 months of that notice period to transfer the 5,000 employees we had on the payroll to their payroll. And then there was like another 6 month handover, winding down kind of period. So the first 6 months of my notice period, it was just too busy for me to think about what I wanted to do next. But once the handover period started, which was April 2020, I started to have a think about what I could do next. So at first, I thought about just I was going to set up a payroll bureau. So I did a bit of research online around the local area. I found that people that were offering payroll services were also offering this thing called bookkeeping. Like, what's bookkeeping? So I did a bit of research on that. And one of the ladies that was offering bookkeeping services and payroll services lived on the actual housing estate where I live. and she is a tutor at Ideal Schools. So anybody who studies with Ideal Schools would know Esther, and she actually lives 2 streets away from me. And this is how I found out about the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, the ICB, and I thought that would be my best route to getting my own practice license. So I signed up with Ideal Schools. It was around May 2020. I didn't really get stuck in until after I was made redundant in September 2020. And since then, I've completed 12 exams, and I've also had 2 contract payroll manager jobs during that time because I still needed to earn money. So in the last 12 months, I've had a lot of learning to do, all during the pandemic and lockdowns, etc., all done remotely, which wasn't always easy. The support I got from Ideal Schools was amazing, though. They managed everything so well. The tutors were always on hand if I needed assistance. So I think that's why I did so well doing the 12 exams in such a short space of time. And also in September 2020, I also found the Six Figure Bookkeepers Club, and I watched my first boot camp. Uh, I think it was about relationships, and I thought, wow, who are these people? They're my kind of people. I love them. I just knew then that it was 100% the right path for me, and I was more determined than ever to launch my own bookkeeping practice.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Thanks, Nicola. Well, we're so pleased that you found us and that we've been able to help you with this. You've been on such an amazing journey, and there's so much love coming through on the comments as well from everyone who's watching and seeing how inspiring you are. Everyone's crying. I think everyone's
Aww.
crying. They're saying that you're so inspirational, such a powerhouse. Lots of people sharing their love for the losses that you've had, and just the inspiration that you're sharing, saying, actually, this is the time I'm going to take control of this now. And then having that focus to work through those exams. That is a lot of exams to have to take. But like anyone who's doing this journey to get their practice license knows the work that you need to do to get through those. You have to do it. Like there's nothing you can do. You've got to sit and work through it. And just to keep the motivation high at a time, last year, and a lot of this year as well, it's all been a bit strange. It hasn't been a great time, but you've kept the focus and you've got it done. So, and you had an easy option. You could have easily said, no, this isn't for me. I'm going to go and find myself another role in payroll. And you definitely could do that, but you've decided that this is for you. In terms of the business and what you needed to do next, you've done your exams, and then what did you have to do? What were the next sort of hurdles for you in getting your business actually ready to launch?
Yeah, so when I first started looking into launching my own business, I hadn't really thought much further than getting the qualifications I needed to get my practice license. And now I realise that the studying was the easy part. It was, I think it was Bookkeepers Bootcamp in March that's just gone. That was the turning point for me. It was about confidence, which it's funny really because confidence isn't something I've ever struggled with. But during the sessions, I realised that that was because of how I'd been brought up. It really is true that your childhood shapes your whole life. I mean, my mum and dad have always been massively supportive, encouraged me and my brothers to believe we could achieve anything, despite being very young parents themselves, not very confident. We didn't have a lot of money, but saying I can't just wasn't in my vocabulary as a child. So I remember watching the session on imposter syndrome during the boot camp, and I was thinking, yeah, I think I've got the opposite of this. I probably think I can do things that I shouldn't. Anyway, the sessions that really stood out for me the most during the March boot camp were Caroline and Aletha's stories. So they talked about completing the 6-month success program, and that's what helped me decide to sign up for it. I binge watched the whole course. I listened to sessions while walking Milo the dog. I'd take notes on my phone, and then if there was something that really needed more depth knowledge, I rewatched each module when I needed to. I got out involved in everything, so it's not just the course that you sign up for. There's lots of other knowledge available to you. So you've got the weekly office hour sessions with other people that are doing the program. Then there's the Q&A sessions with you guys, the study club sessions we mentioned before. Then there's the accountability sessions. They've all proved absolutely invaluable to me. I really don't think I would have known where to start without the program. So it's the startup program helped me with the basics. So like even which software to use, I hadn't thought about that. How to register as an agent with HMRC. I mean, when you start in a business, setting up your own practice, they're just not things that you think of. And then when I went on to do the success program, the modules that stuck out to me the most was the preparation and mindset module. There was a visioning section in there, and before I thought I just wanted to be self-employed. I didn't want to be employed anymore, working for somebody else. I just wanted to be self-employed and bring in a wage that covered what I was earning previously. But the visioning section helped me decide, no, I want something bigger. I want a big business. I'm going to go limited. I want to employ people, and I want to pass on my knowledge and mentor people who are going to work for me. Then there was the business planning module, and there was like a business model canvas in there, and that again helped me think seriously about setting up the business, planning my services, thinking about clients, pricing, costs. There's just so much content, and also lots of books that you recommend us to read. I've just consumed it all in a short space of time, just so I could be ready to start my practice.
Oh, well, I mean, it sounds like you are a powerhouse of studying, and I mean, and you have taken everything that we've put in the course, and you've consumed it. And but the other thing is, Nicola, you haven't just consumed it; you've taken action, haven't you? Every time that we told you to do something, or this is what you need to do next, you've done it. I mean, so give me a timeline again. So you started studying with Ideal Schools in the September, was it?
So September 2020, I started the study.
Yeah.
And then I got my practice license around March time, but I carried on studying because I wanted to offer services like self-assessment tax and corporation tax returns, etc. So I did the level 4 studies. And in March, I also followed the boot camp and I signed up for the success program. So I was
March last year or this year?
this year, 2021.
My God, you're just blowing my mind, like how much you have achieved. I'm thinking, I'm sure it's only this year, but it's got to be last year. You've done so much. Okay, so when you started in your practice license, did you set up as a limited company at the beginning?
Yes, I
did.
I did,
yeah.
Yes.
And what made you decide to do that?
It was
because of what you'd learned.
Yeah, just from what I'd learned in the course from you two guys. I just thought, self-employment is great if that's the way you want to go. But for me, I just had a vision of building a bigger practice and building it, not just a practice and not just being self-employed. I wanted a business, and I wanted to be a business owner and not a practitioner. Can you tell I've read the E-Myth?
Yes, absolutely. And again, we love the E-Myth. So when did you actually launch your practice? What was the day that you launched?
2nd of August. So that was 6 weeks ago. Nearly 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, so you launched then, and how did you find your first clients?
So August isn't really a great time to launch a business. So with everybody going on holiday, kids being off school, but I knew if I didn't set a day and go for it, I'd always keep putting it off until the time was right. But it's always going to be a work in progress. So I just decided to go for it. And I was also still employed until the 31st of August. So, and then me and my husband have been away for a week. We only came back on Tuesday. So this is really, the last couple of days is the only where I've been able to fully concentrate on the business. And so finding clients.
Yeah,
what's my plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. So at the moment you're like really focused on how you're going to make people aware of what you're doing. And I can see you've got your amazing banners behind you. You're really on it with your branding. You've done that, and it looks fab. Like, it looks like you've got a business that's been running for ages, really well established. It's all been thought out, looks really professional. So if someone comes over to look at what you do, they'll be like, oh yeah, she could do this for me. What are you doing to spread the word about what your services are?
Okay, so I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on LinkedIn. And I've kind of been winging it a little bit for the last 6 weeks, just because I haven't had time to put into it. And I also knew I'd get some great tips from this week's boot camp. But I have business pages and personal pages on all 3 sites. And I've seen a couple of sessions this week and probably need to rethink what I post on each. The personal posts definitely get more engagement than the business posts. I did a reel of our dog Milo. He was asleep on his back with his paws like this, and I put some Beethoven music over the top of it, so it looked like he was playing the piano. And that's got the most engagement I've ever had on social media. but I'm not sure that's helping me sell the services I offer. Then on Facebook, I've got friends and family sharing my post, which is great. But the most inquiries I'm getting from Facebook are from local resident groups. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for more of those and join more of those and tell them about me. On LinkedIn, I've got a lot of ex-colleagues from my corporate world and getting quite a lot of self-assessment inquiries from LinkedIn through my old colleagues. And I've had nothing on Instagram so far apart from the funny reels that I do with Milo. So I think I need to make that a priority next. Have a look what I can do on the business side on Instagram a bit more. But I hate having my photo taken. I hate photos of me. I think it's just a still image. So I tend to do videos more than picture posts. And I think that's helping me get engagement because people like watching videos and like seeing people talking more than they do reading things. I might be wrong on that, but that's what I've found so far. So yeah, there's lots of videos of me on the 3 sites, and that's the way I'm going to go.
I think you're right. People get to know you better, don't they, on video
Yep.
and when you're talking. Go on, tell us about what else you've been doing lately to spread the word, Nicola.
So, so I had a radio interview about 2 weeks ago now on a Saturday morning. It's not been broadcast yet. So, my friend is a singer and she put me in touch with the guy. She sent him an email telling him about my story and saying to a local radio station, it was Salford City Radio. And he emailed back immediately, said, yeah, I'm really, really interested. Let's get you on. And we did an interview. And I'm waiting for it. We did the interview on the Saturday, and he was going on holiday on the Wednesday, and he did say he would try and edit it while before the Wednesday, before he went on holiday, so he could get it broadcast. But I just don't think he must have run out of time. There was probably a lot of editing to do because I do talk a lot.
Well, when it is broadcast, please let us know because we all would love to hear it, and I can see why you'd want you on because you have got such an amazing story. Have you got a client yet?
I have. So this story. My first client. I joined I'm using Go Proposal as my proposal software, and I joined the program where we were trying to get. What was it called, Joe?
Well, we called it like the bookkeepers cohort with Go Proposal, just to try and like increase either get a renewal out there so that you could like upgrade and stop the scope creep for one of your current clients, or in your case, to quote and put a proposal out to your first client.
Yes. So I think it was a Monday where you did the session with Danielle, and you did a role play about what to do. And in the afternoon, I just did it word for word. It was really easy because the proposal software does a lot of the work for you. You're just talking through it. You put the figures in. You're talking to the client, telling them what the services are as you go through, telling them what added value you can add, and then you get to the end and it works out the price for you. And it was quite a large price, let's put it that way. I won't give out the figures. So yeah, the price, it came up at the end, and I sat back because I'd made the mistake really. I should have done it beforehand because I knew the numbers that she was going to give me, so I should have had a practice run and to see because I think my eyes went, "Ugh, wow," and I had to bite my tongue, say, just don't say anything else, Nicola. Just stay quiet. Just stay quiet. Don't try and back yourself up now. And she just went, wow, that it is more expensive than I was expecting, but what you've offered me is absolutely amazing. Can you send me the quote? So obviously that's what you do with Go Proposal anyway. So I just sent it immediately. Got off the call as quick as I can because I just wanted to run around the house going, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And then within 5 minutes, I got the acceptance. It literally was that quick, and it was absolutely fantastic. You get an email from Go Proposal when somebody accepts, and it's wahoo! And I was literally running around the house on my own with Milo, going wahoo!
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. I love it. And I know that you shared it with us in the group, and we were just, I was so elated for you because I know how much courage it takes to do a live proposal. And this is something else that we talk about, how, we help you to learn how to sell because it's not easy. You might know what you're doing, but to sell yourself is quite hard. And so we did, and I know that role playing, people really, it's so much easier. So me and Danielle, she pretended to be quite a difficult client, not really difficult, but a little bit difficult. She tested me so that I could deal with the objections and things. And actually, I'm sure your client didn't have as many objections as Danielle did. So it kind of gives you a bit more confidence to kind of go ahead. And I'm just so pleased that you took action. You watched the training and straight away you put it into action that afternoon and saw the results. It's like, wow, it's amazing. You really have got to pat yourself on the back because you really are amazing. So what does it mean? What does it mean for you now that you've started your practice? Obviously like you said, we've had the summer and you've only literally just launched. How do you feel in yourself, with the work-life balance and things compared to when you worked full-time things? What do you think your practice is going to give you that your full-time job didn't?
Well, I love the freedom it gives me. I want to help more businesses. I've been stuck in corporate world, concentrating on one business for years at a time. So this gives me now the freedom to help more than one business. And I love the flexibility I have with my own time. I'm not tied to a desk from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I can also choose who I want to work with. I don't have to deal with persistent recruiters or silly interview questions anymore. I've had some experience with that in the past.
What do you think you'd say to someone who's watching this thinking, I want to start my own practice, but I don't know, they're perhaps making the excuses or they're just a bit afraid? Would you encourage it?
Preparation is definitely key. My husband always says, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Our kids think it's really annoying, but it's so true. And everything I've done has been planned out. I have a plan for everything. I have to-do lists, and I just get on and do it. I would also say, don't compare your journey or your goals to someone else's. You do you. Everyone's different and has different needs. I mean, one person's small win is another person's big win. I think comparison is the thief of joy. So just do your own thing, do your own journey, set your own goals, and go for it.
Oh, Nicola, comparison is the thief of joy. Talk about, that's amazing because it is, because we do have that sometimes. Someone will say, "Oh, I've had a little win," but it's like, no, that's if it's big to you, it's big to you. That's amazing, and our goals change as well. Especially like for me now, I've got a team. I've got a big team, so I can't just take on one client a month. Because that's that's not going to be enough because I've got too many people to look after. I have to take on more. So I don't mostly celebrate my one clients at a time, but I should do, because they're still wins. But it's silly comparing one practice to another, one person's journey, like where you've been and your experiences and everything that you've had in your ups and downs. A win for you, and my wins for me are health wins as well. The fact that I can do yoga twice a week, the fact that like me and Zoe both yesterday, we was on a boot camp, we was having a chat afterwards with a guest, and then we said, right, we're both going on the school run, so we'll see you later. And the fact that we can do that to me is true freedom, that I can say, well, I'm ending work now because I'm going to go and get my kids and I really want to go and get them. So like, we really do need to stop comparing what we want with what other people's wants are. And I need to see more of Milo. I need to see Milo more. I don't think you should stop. If it's not bringing in the business, that doesn't mean it won't. People will love your personality and love Milo for that. And I just really want to congratulate you, Nicola. You really are a superstar. And it's lovely to have you working with us and everyone. You're an absolute inspiration, and and you're like me, you share everything, and it's amazing because people really want to know how it is. We think everyone, you've shared warts and all, so it means that everyone's not going, oh well, it's all right for her. No, it's not all right for you. You've worked bloody hard and you've done what you needed to do. So hats off to you, Nicola. You're amazing.
Thank you. I feel like an influencer now.
You are an influencer. Look at you talking to 2,500 bookkeepers about your journey today. Oh, I think Milo's going to be an influencer as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll have fun with that now.
Oh, well, Nick, thank you so much for taking the time out. You're getting so much love in the comments from everyone who's watching the Facebook group. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining us live as well. If you're here for Bookkeepers Boot Camp, we'll be back at 11 o'clock. And actually, if you want to find out more about the 6-month success program, which we've been talking about today, we're going to actually go inside that now. So we're back at 11 o'clock to show you what it's like to be a student and actually see what you get if you sign up. So join us at 11 for that. But for now, thanks so much, Nicola. It's been amazing having a chat and hearing about your journey. Wishing you all the best for your business. Take care.
Guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.